We are going to start doing lessons like we have been doing them in school. Since we're not there, I'm going to start with the solve and share. I am on page 733. Let's look at the solve and share together. Before we do, in this lesson, we are looking at number sequences. By the end of the lesson, it says, I can use a rule to create and extend a number pattern and identify features of the number pattern not described by the rule. Solve and share. Look at the rules and starting numbers below. What are the next 6 numbers in each pattern? Tell how you decided, and also we need to describe the features of the pattern. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure out what the next rules are and what are the features of the pattern. All right, let's take a look at our first pattern. We always want to pay attention to our starting number. So here we have our starting number is 18 and it is asking us to add 3. So we are going to write the next 6 numbers in the pattern, and I'm just going to draw an arrow down here so it's easier for me to write and for you to see. So 18 plus 3 is 21. Then I'm going to add 3 more and I'm going to get 24. Then I'm going to add 3 more and I'm going to get 27. Then I'm going to add 3 more and I'm going to get 30. And then I'm going to add 3 more and I'm going to get 33. And then last, I'm going to add 3 more and I'm going to get 36. So when I look at this pattern, I'm adding 3 more each time. And one feature that I can see from this pattern is that we have an odd number, then an even number, an odd number, then an even number. And that is just going to keep continuing. Let's look at the next pattern that we have. So in the next pattern that we have, it starts with 17 and then we're going to add 2. Once again, I'm going to draw a line down here so it's easier for you to see. 17 plus 2 is 19, plus 2 more is 21, plus 2 more is 23, plus 2 more is 25, plus 2 more is 27, plus 2 more is 29. So with this pattern, it is increasing by 2 each time. And when I look at the features, I can see that all the numbers are odd, and they're always going to be odd. So if I come up with an even number, I'm going to know that I did something wrong. And then our last pattern, we are starting with the number 40, and it's asking us to subtract 4. So 40 minus 4, I'm going to draw another line down here for you, and let me switch my pen. Sorry. Okay, we're good now. 40 minus 4 would be 36. If I take 4 more away, I would have 32. And if I take 4 more away, I'm going to have 28. 28 minus 4 is 24. 24 minus 4 is 20. And then we have 20 minus 4, which would be 16. I'm noticing that in this particular pattern, one of the features is that all the numbers are even, so they're all even. Also, I can see that they're all multiples of 4. So when you look at patterns, some patterns have more features than others. Let's take a look on the bottom where it says look back. It says create 2 patterns that use the same rule, but they have a different start number. And then we want to identify a feature of the pattern. For example, identify whether the numbers are all even, all odd, or alternate. So we're just going to write a rule that we're going to add to. That's going to be our rule. And the first number I'm going to start off with is just number 1. That's going to be my starting number. So I'm going to underline it in yellow for you. So if we add 2, then the next, let's just do the next 3 numbers. I have 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, and it's going to keep going. So the next number would be 7, then 9. A feature of this pattern would be that they're all even. Now let's use the same rule and start with a different start number. So this time, let's start with the number 2. I'm going to underline that in red because that's our start number. So our next two numbers using the same pattern as of add 2, is 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6. Well, in this pattern, all of the numbers are going to be even. All right, let's look at the problem on this page. It says, the house numbers on a street follow the rule add 4. So I'm just going to write plus 4 because that's our rule. I always like to see our rule because it's going to help you later. All right, so it says, if the pattern continues, what are the next 3 house numbers? And describe a feature of the pattern. Well, if we're just going to add 4 each time, we know 16 plus 4 would be 20. 20 plus 4 would be 24, and 24 plus 4 would be 28. Looking at these numbers, I know that they are all even because they all end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And I also know that they're multiples of 4. So if we look at B over here, it says a rule is a mathematical phrase that tells us the number or shapes in a pattern are related, how they are, sorry. So we have our rule right here, which is plus 4. And if we look at this picture right here, it's just jumping on a number line for each time. And then we have to be able to describe features of the pattern. So some patterns have features that are not given in the rule. So one of the features of this pattern is that all of the numbers are even. It doesn't tell you in the rule that all the numbers are even. You just know with starting with 16 and adding 4, all of the numbers are going to be even. So let's look at the bottom of the page where it says convince me. Can you use the rule add 4 to create a different pattern with all odd numbers? Explain. Well, yes, you can, because if you start with an odd number and then you add 4, all of the numbers are going to be odd. So for example, let's just use 1. Let's start with the number 1. That's our start number. If we're going to use the same rule of add 4, well, 1 plus 4 would be 5. 5 plus 4 would be 9. 9 plus 4 would be 13. 13 plus 4 would be 17. As you can see, all of these numbers are odd. So depending on your start number and depending on your rule, your pattern is always going to have features of where all the numbers are odd, or all the numbers are even, or in like the first one we did, they can rotate. Let's do some guided practice together. Do you understand? Rudy's rule is add 2. He started with 4 and wrote the numbers below. We want to know which number does not belong in Rudy's pattern. Explain. So he is starting with 4. If we add 2 more, we get 6. Plus 2 more is 8. Now we have a 9 here. We know that that number is incorrect because 8 plus 2 is not 9. And all the rest of these numbers, if we look at them, they're all even, except for number 9. Go ahead and write this sentence for your explanation. 9 does not belong because it is odd and all the rest are even. Okay, let's look at number 2. It says, continue the pattern. Sorry, I'm not highlighting as I'm reading. Describe a feature of the pattern. So we can see that our rule, and your rule is usually pretty explicit, like it's right out there. It tells you they're subtracting 6. So the start number is also very important. They're starting with 48. So we're subtracting 6 each time. I'm just going to write the numbers down here because it's easier since the little lines are so small for me to write with my stylus. So we have 48 minus 6 is 42. 42 minus 6 is 36. And so on. We come to 24. So 24 minus 6 would be 28. 28 minus 6 would be 22, and 22 minus 6 would be 16. So if I'm looking at a feature, I can just see that all of the numbers are even. So I'm just going to say that all the numbers are even. Okay, I am going to have you go ahead and do the problems on this page 735, and then do these numbers in your book as well. I'm going to circle them. You're going to do numbers 13, 14, 15, 18, and 19. Right now I'm going to do number 16 for you because I want to go over it with you, and then I'm going to explain what you're going to do next. So number 16, suppose you were born in the year of the snake. We want to find out how old will you be the next time the year of the snake is celebrated. So if you can see here that the pattern of animals repeats every 12 years, it's kind of a trick question. You're just going to be 12 years old. All right, go ahead and complete the problems that I assigned for you. You do not need to upload them anywhere, but what I'm going to do is I am going to send pictures of the answers tomorrow so you can see if you understood the lesson. And I have assigned a few things that are in your Google Classroom from Pearson, so just go ahead and do those, and they should automatically submit back to me to make sure that you're understanding. If you have any questions, you can email me and I will get right back to you. Have a great day, guys.